All right, guys, that's like got the last review of the year. Unbelievable. Okay, then we wanted to say find the vertices, foci, and asymptotes of the hyperbola and sketch its graph. Okay, remember with the hyperbola, the first term is the major axis. So this time the x is going to go 4 on the x, both directions. Going to go 3 on the y, up 3, down 3. Now with the hyperbola, I'm going to connect those points with a box. Remember, this box is only there so that I can draw my asymptotes. So the asymptotes go from the center to the corner, center to the corner. Now, because the x coordinate, because the x is first, is the major, the hyperbola opens along the x-axis. Okay, so now we can answer all the questions. The vertices are at plus or minus 4 and 0. They're both at 4, negative 4. The asymptote, we're just doing the slopes of the asymptote. You can tell from the picture that our rows 3 ran 4 both directions, so it's plus or minus 3/4. Or you could do the square root of number under the y over square root of number of the x, because y is rise, x is run. And the last thing is the foci. Foci, you got to find c. C squared is always a squared plus b squared, which is 25. Take the square root, plus or minus 5. And that also goes on the major axis. So if you're on your picture, they'd be right there. As long as you tell me the point, that's okay. So those are our 3 answers and the graph. All right, number 2. Number 2, you got to fix first. So I'm going to divide everything by 144, all 3 terms by 144. And when I do that, this is what happens. 36 goes into 144 4 times, which means 4 goes into 144 36 times, and that's 1. That's a wow right there. Okay, so x is still first. X is still the major. So I'm going 2, 2, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on that y. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because that's the square root of what's on the bottom. Connect those points with the box again. Oops. Going up. There we go. Just so you can draw your asymptotes. Asymptote. Asymptote. Now because x is first, the graph's going to open from here like the x-axis does. If y were the first term, it would open up and down. Now, the stuff, the vertices. The vertices are at plus or minus 2 and 0. The slopes of the asymptote, remember, square root of what's under y, which would be 6. Square root of the x, which is 2. So that's really plus or minus 3 for the slope of the asymptotes. And then the foci, I'm going to do a squared plus b squared. So c squared would be 36 plus 4, which is 40. Take the square root. Square root of 40 is really 4 times 10, which is 2 on 10. So my foci, I'm going plus or minus 2 on 10 and 0. Hope that helps. Number 3, going backwards. Number 3 says find the equation that has foci and those vertices. Now, real quick, these vertices are on the y-axis, which means the y comes first. And because they're at 8, I'm getting 64 minus x squared over something is 1. Now they give me the foci. Remember, foci is c, and I'm going to use, you got to use what they give you. So I'm using c squared as a squared plus b squared. So c squared is really 100. I know a squared is 64 already, plus b squared. So what do you add to 64 to get 100? 36. And there's your answer. All right, 4, 5, and 6 are ellipses, which is what we did on Monday. I'm going to blow this up a little bit. Look what you got to find, though. Find the vertices, foci, and eccentricity, and the lengths of the major. That's a bunch of stuff. Okay, and sketch the graph. So it's going to take a second to do these two. So number 4, first of all, we want the right-hand side to be 1. So I'm dividing all 3 sides by 36. And I get x squared over 36. 4 goes into 36 9 times, and that's 1. So I'm going to go 6. I can barely see that. On the x, both directions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to go up 3 and down 3. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the dots with an ellipse. I'm having a hard time drawing it. Let's see. Connect the dots with an ellipse. That's pretty good for me. All right, so where are my vertices? Remember, vertices are the major. On the major. Got it down here. Sorry, I didn't see it. Vertices will be plus or minus 6 and 0. Major axis, I went 6 left and 6 right, so it's 12. How big is the minor axis? I went up 3, down 3, it's 6. Those are the 3 the easier answers. The foci, you got to find c squared. Now with the ellipse, it's a squared minus b squared. So I'm doing 36 minus 9. That's 27. Square root of 27 is 9 times 3, which is 3 on 3. And those are your major axis. I'm going to go plus or minus 3 on 3 and 0. Eccentricity is c over a. So I'm going to punch it in my calculator. I'm punching in 3 on the square root of 3, or you can just punch in square root of 27 if you want to. a little bit quicker, divided by A, and A was 6. A is your vertex number, so I'm dividing that by 6. I'm getting 0.866. That's all you do. That's quite a bit, though. Let's go to the next one. Number 5. Same exact kind of problem, just 2 of them. I'm dividing everything by 144. If I divide the x by 144, that's going to be, the 12. That cancels, I get 12. Y squared is going to be over 144. That equals 1. Now, because the y is bigger, it's going to be the major. I'm going to go up 12, which is off my graph a little bit, down 12, which is off my graph a little bit. I'm going to go right square root of 12. Now, square root of 12 is, I'm punching my calculator, it's 3 point something. So I'm going to go right 3 point something, left 3 point something, and make your ellipse. Not too bad. Okay, where are my vertices? My vertices are on the major, and I went up, I went up and down 12. So it's 0 plus or minus 12. How big is the major axis? 24, because I went up 12 and down 12. How big is the minor axis? I went right, the square root of 12 is really 4 times 3, which is 2 on 3. So I went right 2 on 3 and left 2 on 3, which means I went 4 on 3. The foci, I'm doing c squared is a squared minus b squared. 144 minus 12 is 132. I'm trying to think if I can break that down. Let's see, 132. I know 4 goes into it. Let's see if 16 goes. It does not. So I'm going to, 132 divided by 16. It does not. So I'm going to go 4. 4 goes in there. Let's see, 132 divided by 4 is 33. So I'm going to get 2 on 33 plus or minus. Those are my foci. They're on your major axis, so I'm going 0 and plus or minus 2 on 33. Eccentricity, again, c over a. My c is the square root of 132. A was 12. That's what I'm punching in. Square root of 132 divided by 12. And I get 0.957. So it's really, the closer this number is to 1, the more stressed out it is. And look how stressed out that ellipse is. It's kind of crazy. Number 6, I think. Yeah, 6. Going backwards, find an equation of the ellipse with these conditions. Vertices are plus or minus 6, 0. Notice that's the x-axis, so I'm going to square the 6. So we got x squared over 36 plus y squared over something is 1. To figure that out, use what they give you. They gave you the c, which is 4. C squared is 16. 36 minus b squared. So 36 minus 4 is 16, 20. And there you have it. And now we get to review. All right, number 7 says solve that. It's got log subtraction. Remember, you cannot subtract logs. When you subtract, you really divide to make it 1 log. So I'm putting the x plus 15 over the x minus 1. That equals 2. When you get down to 1 log, you know how we do a log. You do 3 to that power equals that. So I'm going to say x plus 15 over x minus 1 equals 3 squared, which is 9. I'm going to go ahead and put the 9 over 1 so I can cross multiply. Cross multiply, I get 9x minus 9. The other way, I get x plus 15. Move that x over, that's 8x. Move that 9 over, that's 24. Divide by 8. X is 3, maybe. Put it back in. Yep, looks good. Number 8, use the laws to condense. Now, when it says condense, it wants all that to be 1 log. Okay, and if there's a number in the very front, it's always good to, let's just distribute that 2 first. Like this, put that 2 in the front of there. Make that a 4. And make this a 6. Now, the numbers in the front are really the exponents. So I'm going to say x plus 1 squared. That's going to be log base 5 y minus 3 to the 4th power. And this is going to be log base 5 z to the 6th. Now, what we know is when you add 2 logs, you multiply. And when you have a subtraction, you divide. So I'm going to make this one big log, base 5. And I'm going to do x plus 1 squared times y minus 3 to the 4th. Do not multiply that out. That's way too big. Over z to the 6th. Make it 1 log. Remember, anything that's positive goes in your numerator. Anything negative goes in your denominator. Number 9, find an equation of the tangent line. Back to limits and derivatives. So I'm going to go limit as h approaches 0 of f of h plus 2, because that's the x-coordinate, minus f of 2, which is just 2, the y-coordinate, all over h. So I'm going to plug in, please keep writing your limits. I'm going to plug in h plus 2, and I would get h plus 2 over h plus 2 minus 1. That's really just h plus 1. I still have that minus 2. That's all over h. I'm going to shorten that fraction bar a little bit. So whenever we get something like this, we always multiply by that, whatever the denominator is. So my numerator, what's about to happen is, my denominator, first of all, remember we never multiply that. I'm just going to leave that all together. My numerator, that first term, the h plus 1's cancel. That leaves h plus 2. But I do have to multiply the negative 2 times that h plus 1. So I get negative 2h minus 2. All right, so a couple more steps. Almost there, I promise. That's h plus 1. My numerator, h minus 2h is negative 1h. Hey, the 2's are gone. That's awesome. That's what I wanted. Those h's cancel. Got to do one more step here before I get my slope. Limit as h goes to 0. That leaves me negative 1 on the top and h plus 1 on the bottom. Once you cancel that h right there, that original h, you can now plug in 0. And I get negative 1 over 0 plus 1, which is negative 1. Now what that is, that's my slope. It said find an equation of the line. So there's my slope. My point at the beginning was 2, 2. So I'm about to do point slope form to finish up. And I'm going to do y minus 2 is negative 1, x minus 2. Distribute the negative 1 and move the 2 over. I get negative x plus 4. And there you have it. Number 10. Again, I keep on giving you these problems because I want you so much to get this formula down and understand how important compound interest is for you. It's so good for y'all. Suppose you invest $10,000 in an account that pays 8% per year, compounded quarterly. How long will it take for it to double? If you double 10,000, you're gonna have 20,000 when you end up. Started with 10,000. 1 plus, I'm going 0.08 compounded quarterly is divided by 4. And it's asking me how long 4t goes up there because it's nt power. I guess I should write the formula down. This is the formula for about the 5,000th time. All right, first off, let's divide both sides by 10,000. It's always going to be 2 when it's doubled. Also, let's go ahead and punch in what's inside that parentheses, which is 1 plus 0.08 divided by 4. And I'm getting 1.02 to the 4t power. Now, just got to get that. You got to do a log to both sides in order to make that go away. So I'm going to use the base over here, 4t log base 1.02 of 1.02. And over here I got the same base, log 1.02 of 2. So here that's gone. So my answer is going to be that log over there divided by the 4. And it's going to give me my answer. So I'm punching it in right now. I'm going to go to math and go down to log base. Thanks for being patient. I'm kind of slow. Okay, log base 1.02. I'm having a hard time. And then 2. And it's giving me 35 point something, but I got to divide that by 4, which gives me 8.8 years for it to double. Right there. One quick hint, I haven't already taught you this before. If you take your interest rate and divide it into 72, that gives you a really good estimate how long it takes money to double. It's called the rule of 72. So think about it. 72 divided by 8 is 9. 9 years. Look what our answer was. Very close. Rule of 72. All right, last one. Number 11. Just divide. And we can do synthetic because no exponents on the denominator. So I'm going to have 1/2 there. I got a 2. Don't forget your 0. 3. Don't forget your 0. Negative 1. And here we go. Man, I hope they don't have tons of fractions, but it's going to happen, I'm afraid. Bring your 2 down. Half of 2 is 1. Here we go. Bring the 1 down. Half of 1 is 1/2. 3 plus 7/2. Sorry, 3 plus 1/2 is 3.5, which is really 7/2. When I multiply 1/2 times that 7/2, you just multiply the numerators, which is 7. Multiply the denominators, which is 4. Add those up. Same thing. Multiply the numerators. Multiply the denominators. Now, negative 1 is really negative 8/8. Plus 7/8 is negative 1/8. That's my remainder. So don't forget to write your answer, your quotient. 2x cubed, 1x squared, 7/2 x, 7/4, and then minus the 1/8 is going to be over what we started with, which is the x minus 1/2. All right, there you have it. Last review, the last video. It's been an awesome year. Appreciate you guys. See you tomorrow for test. Do great.